ultimate guide to anything Filipino in Las Vegas. This is the Las Vegas Filipino Resource Guide radio show on PHLV Radio.
Good evening from Las Vegas. It's the Las Vegas Filipino Resource Guide radio show here on PHLV Radio. I'm your host, Gilbert Glorioso, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to my business partner and co-host, Bernie Benito. Good evening. Hi. Hi, good evening, Tito Bernie. How you doing?
Okay, good.
Awesome.
Good to be here again. Yes.
Yes, another beautiful day here in Las Vegas. And of course, we have some special guests here today at the studio. Okay, I'm filming from the studio. And yes, I'll go ahead and introduce our first guest. His name is John Hewitt. He's an American entrepreneur and co-founder of Jackson Hewitt and sole founder of Liberty Tax Service. Okay, as a late 2006 Hewitt, as CEO, chairman of the board, and president of the latter, together with companies account for more than 10,000 tax preparations offices in the United States and Canada. Let's go ahead and welcome Mr. John Hewitt. Hello.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. A little bio that I got from you, and of course, I'm excited to have you here today. Of course, and of course, we have Vladimir Lagario from Atax. Hello.
Hello, everyone. It's my second time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for being here today, dito sa studio. And of course, we are here because John Hewitt, I have so many questions for you, and I'm excited because being an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur, and of course, you've been going there and back and forth already, and you heard a lot of through a lot of interviews, of course, and thousands of times you probably heard these questions, but a lot of people don't know it. Like me, when I found out about John Hewitt, I was like, hold on for a minute. Let me look you up on Google. So yes, you are here today. Thank you so much for coming out here. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to you because you are the expert and I want to learn more.
Okay. Well,
yes.
Let me take you through briefly through my 52-year career. I started at H&R Block in 1969. I was attending the University of Buffalo, and I took an H&R Block tax course, and I loved it. So I started preparing taxes in the evenings and weekends. And 12 years later, I was the youngest regional director in the country, managing 250 locations. And my dad came to me, and he was the CFO of a public company, and he said, let's computerize taxes. He liked the Apple that he bought by mail better than the mainframe that was running his public company. So we both quit our jobs, and in 1981, we developed the first tax software for an Apple computer. It was way before its time. No one wanted it. Right. H&R Block, we tried to sell it to them, and they said, why should we computerize? I said, we tried it. Customers don't care. Doesn't save us any money. We're never going to computerize. So found a company in Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is a blessing because the weather's a lot nicer than Buffalo, and bought a company called Mel Jackson Tax Service from Mel's widow. And it had 6 offices, all in the Virginia Beach market. And then over the next 15 years, we changed the name to Jackson Hewitt, and we went public. And now it has 6,000 locations, and half of them are in Walmart, 3,000 Walmarts. And we sold Jackson Hewitt in 1997, 15 years later, for $483 million.
Wow.
Public company. And I started over again. And I had a non-compete that covered virtually the entire United States for 3 years. But I grew up in Buffalo, so I knew the Canadians had a tax system very much like the United States. So we opened in Canada, and within 3 years, just as I had in the United States, I built one of the top 100 retail chains. So now I'd done it twice, once in U.S. and once in Canada. And in 2000, I came back to the United States. And I had to, not only did I have to compete with H&R Block, the 900-pound gorilla, I had to compete with my own name, my own software, my own system at Jackson Hewitt. And yet, not only did we grow faster than Block or Jackson Hewitt, we grew faster than both of them combined.
Wow.
And so in 12 years, we opened 4,000 locations, top 5 fastest growing franchisor of all time. And so, public company again, and I sold my stock, $500 million in value several years ago, and sold my stock and started all over again. And now I have a number of brands. called Loyalty Brands, and Vladimir here has a local location first year in Las Vegas for Atax. And Atax is our venture. And I've been blessed. I brought in 5,000 franchisees. I'm only person that's ever founded 2 of the top 100 chains. And I live in Virginia Beach.
Very humble. My gosh, I couldn't. Yes. I mean, like I said, I'm stoked. Yeah, because
well, when you hear that I've created over 1,000 millionaires, that will make you even happier, right?
Oh wow!
Yes.
I believe that.
when they say follow that path and you'll get there.
Yeah, in Rich Dad Poor Dad, it says, in one of the Rich Dad Poor Dad books, he says, 90% of people will give you advice in life, but only 5% are millionaires. So why are you listening?
Right.
Follow the money, follow the success.
Follow the system.
They say R&D. What's that? Replicate and what's that? Rip and duplicate.
Replicate and
R&D.
in progress.
Yeah, I want to be on the BI side.
That's right, the business side.
Success isn't hard. It's not. It's hard. It's hard work.
Right.
There's nothing worthwhile that doesn't require hard work, but there's no secret sauce.
Right.
Just follow the program.
Just follow the program, and there is a program then.
Absolutely, we have the best system in the industry, and I've had that in all my companies. When I was with H&R Block, they were the fastest growing, and then when I left and started Jackson Hewitt, they were the fastest growing. Then Liberty was fastest growing. Now Atax is the fastest growing. We have the best system.
So when you say loyalty brands, is that one other? Is that more than?
We have 9 brands, and our goal is to add one a month until we get to somewhere between 50 and 100 brands.
And all of it's concerning to tax.
No, there's only 2 that are tax and accounting. For example, one of our first brand was called First Choice Business Brokers, and they have a large branch here in Las Vegas. They're bigger than they sell businesses instead of homes. They're the biggest in the industry, and we cross market. They send customers to us and ATAX will, if they find businesses for sale, and they get paid. So they get a referral fee if customers come each way.
Yeah, and that's how it usually is when even small-based businesses here in Vegas, a lot of them are referral based. Because you can't do 100% of the work. We might as well do 1% of the 100 and just basically refer each other to do business and stuff like that. And I like that concept. My gosh, loyalty brands is another. So that's another basically the 9 different businesses that you have.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And we'll be adding one this month, and then one a month for as far as the eye can see.
How long has that been around, the loyalty?
We started 2 years ago in July. So this July it'll be 3 years.
So being that it's pandemic still,
Still growing.
Still growing.
Yes. Very
Was it a little bit? Was it better that we had the pandemic and it's growing more, or?
It's mixed blessings. There are. It's difficult to understand this if you haven't been an entrepreneur, but great businesses grow more market share in tough times than they do when it's robust times.
Yes.
Because when it's a high tide, all boats are lifted.
Yes.
When it's a low tide, some of them sink. And so
Which is true.
It'll be stagnant.
So it's actually good for strong businesses to have recessions and obviously not diseases, but certainly recessions have always been good. In this industry is recession resistant. In 2008 and 2009, Liberty Tax, when I was CEO there, grew by 700 locations. There was no other company in the country that grew by 700 locations. Wow. Starbucks had a decrease of 650 locations.
Yes.
Because during recessions, you don't have to buy a fancy cup of coffee or a car or eat out, but you have to file your taxes. And so very
That's
recession resistant.
That is good. That's good.
That's what gets me on the business. When I Google it, I said, oh, wow, this is recession resistant? Okay. So instead of doing some restaurant business, so I might as well do this tax businesses.
Because the competition, especially for
that's
restaurants, big.
Same thing with life insurance too myself. And that's why I convinced myself, it's John Hewitt was the head of this business, the organization. Okay, that's a good reputation with John Hewitt behind it.
Yeah, so John Hewitt, John, By the way, Jackson Hewitt, you're a co-partner, so who was the Jackson and who was...
Remember, I bought a company called Mel Jackson from his widow, and he had died. So there was no that was the last Jackson in Jackson Hewitt.
Okay.
Oh.
So when we changed the name from Mel Jackson, we wanted to keep most of our customers knew Mel Jackson.
Right.
So we didn't want to let that name go. So we just added
You
Hewitt
just
to
kept
it
it.
to sound a little bit more upscale.
It does.
So
Definitely.
that's the story behind it.
Yes, no, and like I said, hearing this for the first time, I've seen Jackson Hewitts go left and right, and I know a few people here that sold to Jackson Hewitt that used to have the big tax preparer places out here in Vegas.
Right.
So that's why I was like, hold on for a minute. Now I'm hearing it. I can't believe that in my life that I'm meeting the actual person that put together. That's why I'm really
The foundation.
yeah, the main person, the one that grew the, what do they call it? The empire.
Empire, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
is what I should
6,000
say.
offices, and the two combined had 10,000 offices between them,
Wow.
bigger than Block.
That's huge.
My gosh. And long did it take for you to go public from the time that you put that together?
At Jackson Hewitt, it took 12 years, and it took 10 at Liberty.
Okay. So when you sold the Jackson, then you did Liberty. Was it like right after you sold, or?
Well, remember we started in Canada as soon as we sold, and then three years later, when my non-compete ended, we opened in the United States.
Wow. Yeah. Liberty tax is pretty
So
big.
it's big
too.
in Canada too.
Yeah.
The taxes.
Yeah,
Wow.
Liberty is, yeah. Oh, and the tax system. Although there's only two major tax firms in Canada, H&R Block and Liberty.
Oh, wow.
Jackson Hewitt didn't go into Canada, and neither has Atax yet.
Oh, I see.
So this software that you have is basically it's the backbone of the whole entire business, basically.
Yeah, in the 21st century, you have to have
that
quality
down.
software. It's part of every quality system in the world is software for sure.
All right.
Yeah, and that's each software that you've made for these businesses are basically entitled to that different brand too.
Exactly. Well, we have software that go across all of our brands, and then we have some unique. In other brands, we don't need income tax software.
Exactly.
So we have specific software, and then we have software that all the brands can use.
Well, that's cool.
All right.
My mind is just jogging because I'm an entrepreneur too. It's like, well, you can do it for these offices, but you can, being that worldwide now, you can actually have that software and sell the software too. But not sell the software, but lease the software. That's what a lot of businesses actually are doing, like Microsoft and stuff like that, or Office. You can't buy it anymore.
No.
You got to lease it.
Lease it, yeah. That's how they make their profits.
Definitely.
Recurring revenue is a very, very quality thing.
Yes, and that's why, I don't know if you probably heard network marketing and stuff like that. You always have to have something that's tangible, because if it's not tangible and you just buy it once, it won't grow. Yeah, but cool. My gosh, I'm just my mind is like I'm gonna have my business partner Bernie Benito go ahead and ask a question or two. Tito Bernie.
Yes, thank you, Gilbert. John, nice having you here with this program. Anyway, the Atax, is this the only one office that you have right now in Las Vegas?
Yeah, we're in Nevada for the first time. We acquired a year ago, November. We started franchising in the United States, and then we're set back a bit by COVID, but now we've added another half a dozen states and 50% growth. And Vladimir is the first one here in Vegas. He's the pioneer, ground floor.
Okay.
Right here.
awesome.
Breaking ground. I'm so glad I found it.
That's a history in the making,
I know, right?
Yeah, that's
First time
great.
in
That's
Nevada.
great. Yeah, you know that there are a lot of competitions with regards to tax preparing, and welcome to Las Vegas anyway.
Well, thank you.
All right. So, being that Atax is one of the brands that you're actually promoting here in Las Vegas, Atax is just a tax preparer, or can you go ahead and give us a little?
We do
rundown
a
of
little
what you
bit
guys
of bookkeeping,
Yeah.
accounting, for payroll, also for small businesses. So we are promoting that also. When the tax season is over, it's like all year round operational services. So yeah, that's our another business we can do for after tax season. So bookkeeping and apparel.
Bookkeeping and
Yes.
payroll. Okay. All right. And location?
We're at Las Vegas Boulevard, right in the corner of Silverado Ranch, 9620 Las Vegas Boulevard, 89123. That's the zip code. Yeah, it's right by South Point. It's easy to find.
Is there a phone number that they can reach you at too?
Of course, our office business is 702-589-8773, and they can contact me at my cell phone 702-750-6057. That's my direct line.
Okay. And then if there's a website, just in case some people are.
Yes, of course. We do have two websites. We have the Atax Live that they can look it up online, and they can go www.atax.com for the website.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And of course, John, I wanted to ask you, because you're so humble. I can't, when I first saw you, my mind is like, hold up for a minute. This must be John. That's why I said John. A lot of, how am I supposed to say? I don't want to say stereotype, but the way that I see it, I couldn't even know that you were that person, that built this Jackson Hewitt, and of course you're so humble. Virginia Beach, Virginia is where you're from.
Right. Well,
Okay.
I moved there. Remember, I grew up in Buffalo, and then
Buffalo, New York.
in 1982, I moved my family there. So been there ever since for 39 years. So most of my life.
Wow.
Being next to the water is really
Right.
nice. Of course, there's a lot of Filipinos in that part of the town. That neck of the woods, there's a lot of Filipinos because of the naval base out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a naval base there.
Yeah.
Yes.
At Liberty,
For
we had
sure.
500 employees, and at least 10% of them were Filipino.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. And most of the Liberty was in
it's good.
Canada, right?
Initially, and
Yeah.
then we opened 4,000 in the United States. So
That's a lot.
we opened 300 in Canada
Wow.
in 3 years, and then in 12 years we opened 4,000 in the United States. So
Wow.
top 5 fastest growing franchisors
It's
ever.
huge. That is
Yeah.
huge.
And-
Yeah, we have a lot here in Vegas. Liberty.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, can't wait. I mean, Atax is the very first one. So
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm sure I'm on the right track, and John is gonna be, helping everyone to do market the ATAX, and I'm so glad that I found this business. I'm so glad.
That's good. That's
yeah. Is there? I looked you up on Google. A lot of people that are watching right now, that are entrepreneurs, want to get more information on you. Do you have a contact on the websites or anything like that, if ever?
I'm not sure. You mean
At what you do, it's really how am I supposed to say this? Being that you're an entrepreneur and you've been, like I said, I can learn a lot from you, and just reading a lot of stuff about you. If I wanted to know more about you, is there a way that we can contact you?
well, yeah. I have a book out.
yes.
Yes.
So you can read the history about me on the book. It's called I Compete, and because that's things that drives me. In Made in America by Sam Walton, he said with his story, he said people asked him why was he successful, and he was laid back too, and he said, I can't tell. The only thing I can think of is I'm just a fierce competitor. So yeah, I'm a fierce competitor. It's in my book. We have some webinars, training webinars on our website. Plus, I'll be starting an educational podcast week after next. So in the first week of May, we'll be starting our weekly podcast where we'll be teaching people to become entrepreneurs. I've been blessed with massive success, and I'm old now, and people say, well, why do you keep doing this? And because most people retire. 99% of people retire, but I don't know what I would do if I didn't work.
That's true.
I'm a life master chess player and bridge player, and but I only do that a couple days a year. I love business and changing lives. So
That's awesome.
I try. That's the thing that drives me, gets me up and going every day, is changing people's lives.
Yeah. Well, now you got me. I'm like,
That's
hold on for a
good.
minute.
That's great.
Hey, franchise is
I want to
open.
be. I'm going to be one of your students. Is it okay if you can share that website? If ever.
Yes, Loyalty Brands.
Just loyaltybrands.com.
Right. Yep.
And then we can, if an entrepreneur that's just growing,
Yep.
we can go ahead
Absolutely.
and just
Google it.
and there's there a fee to join
Yep.
your program?
Not at all.
Wow.
See,
That's it.
you can beat that.
I know, right? Well, you heard it. Tito Bernie, would you like?
Say it again.
Would you
Yeah.
like to ask another question? Or
Well, I think John have explained everything, and Vladimir, it's nice to have him in Las Vegas. Actually, it's nice to see them expand their business down here. And Las Vegas is a big market, actually.
True. Yes.
And I really admire you, John, for your entrepreneurship. You're a rich man, and you can do.
He can return anytime.
You can do anything. You can expand on the horizon and everything of that sort. So, congratulations, Seth. Congratulations to you. Yeah.
Thank you. I've been very blessed.
thank you, John.
Thank
It's like my gosh, I could say so many, but like I said, I'll be following for sure. And being that
Yes.
I'm an entrepreneur / DJ. I'm doing this program host, but business, like you said, you retire, you don't know what to do. And that's the same thing that my dad said. Even Uncle Bernie, Tito Bernie, Tito Bernie is like, okay, he's retired too, but he's doing a lot of public. He's doing a lot of public work out here in Las Vegas for the community.
You have to keep doing something,
That's right.
And I really admire what
retirement is not sitting down and watch TV.
Right.
your brain's still moving.
Well, actually, just to add on, actually, Atax are, still, it's an open door for everyone who want to start a business here in Las Vegas. So, I encourage everyone who have their, second thought to open up the business. We have a good support, tax support from headquarters. So it's not that hard. All you have to just follow the system, because we have the system. Like John said, just follow the system. Follow the system.
You want to go ahead and invite them to what? Is there a website? Is it the ATAX website as well?
Just ATAX. Just go to www.atax.com and find out the location where they're at. Because it's nationwide. It's open to nation. We have one just opened in California, correct?
Mm-hmm.
A couple months ago, we just opened one in LA.
In LA.
And a couple one in Colorado. So it's not really much here in this side, but East Coast is there's a lot of
East
ATAX
Coast is
office.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Half
we're trying
of them
to
are in New York.
Yeah.
In New York City.
New York is
City.
big. Yeah. So yeah, that's
the Big Apple.
starting to you, Gilbert. You can start your own ATAX franchise too.
I'm gonna have to probably work with you first.
Yeah, of course.
Learn the business.
We're gonna give we teach a tax class every August, I think, mid-August. That way, whoever is interested to be in that business, because they want to be in a business that they don't know what they're doing, and then they can start doing that training, hands-on first. So that way they have the feeling of that business.
Remember, that's how I started in the industry. I took an H&R Block
Right,
tax
right.
course,
That's
the way
yeah.
we get our seasonal tax preparers is we
Right.
teach a fall tax course.
Right.
So it's like almost like an OJT, or
Right,
on-job
right,
training.
on-job training,
And then
yes.
you
You
get
earn
the
at the same
feel.
time.
So you're earning money at the same time and learning something.
True.
And if it's for you, then go forward. And yeah, you saw the vision right away.
I was blessed. I mean,
Yeah.
so many people. I've interviewed thousands of people in my career, and I always ask them, "What do you want to be when you grow up?"
Yeah.
And at any age, most people don't know.
Exactly.
Whether they're 20, 40, 50, 60,
It's
I
wild.
haven't decided. So I was blessed to again, that's one of my blessings, is to find the industry I loved early in life. I was in school to be a mathematician, and I don't know what I've ever done, because, I mean, what do you do with being a mathematician? Maybe you professor or something of that
Scientist.
nature. But
Yeah.
but I found income tax and changed my life.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Thanks for sharing your wisdom, John. It's really touched everyone's life. We're doing this,
Yeah, and then like I said,
Good
once-
information.
Once again, I can't believe that I'm here in front of the person that founded.
I met John first time
Yeah.
Zoom webinar, right? That was like August when we have the
Was
web
it?
webinar.
Was it? Yeah.
I said, "Oh, this is really John."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bless. It's a blessing.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
John.
Sure.
Would you like to go ahead and give some kind words to our viewers for ending the ending of the show?
For what?
We're going to be ending the show. pretty
Oh,
much.
okay.
Yeah.
I just
So
want to
it's-
say that the key of my success is doing. I always want to do what's best for the other person, the key to success in business and in life and relationships is if you always want to do what's best for the other person, then that's win-win. And, you know, when it's best for both of us, like it is with Vladimir and I, that's even more wonderful. But I always want to do what's right for each and every person, customer, employee, stockholder, franchisee, everyone.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good to hear that words.
It is. Would you like to as well?
Oh, I'm just so glad. Me and my wife are very fortunate to found Atax and loyalty brands, and I know we're going to the right tracks. And it's our first season, so we're not really getting so much clients at this point. But I know in the year coming towards that, it's just a word of mouth. People, you just keep hearing the Atax. Who's Atax? What is Atax at? So yeah, that's right now. We're getting a lot of good feedback from people that we serve to our community, and that's a good. It's a positive thing that most of them are really coming back to us, and they were surprised that there's Atax in Las Vegas. Yeah, this is the first time here. So yeah, me and my wife are really happy to share this to everyone.
Thank you so much. My gosh, I want to go ahead and just thank the both of you for being here today. Of course, actually, the three of you. Thank you so much for being on our show today. And of course, this is very memorable for me, this show right now, because like I said, I'm an entrepreneur, still learning. And like you said, John, you're at 40, you still don't know where you want to be. And that's the reason why I said, hold on for a minute. I'm going to be your student. That's what it sounds like.
We'll be the followers, right?
Definitely. And of course, you learn from the people
best,
that did it already. He's been there, done that, and going back and forth already. So it's like, you want to flock with this. This is who you want, if
there's no secret on the success, right?
There's no
secret. So you just follow it.
Yeah, there's no Coke formula. It's step by step, very basic.
Awesome. Thank you.
And my email is john@loyaltybrands.com. So,
that's where I'm
at. Yeah, I'm very accessible. I'm 24 hours a day as long as I'm awake. So
John,
if you have questions, send them to me.
Thank you so much.
Right.
All right, everybody. Tito Bernie.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you so much for having us here. This is my second, actually.
Thank you guys to that you've been here with us.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody. It's a Las Vegas Filipino Resource Guide radio show here on PHLV Radio. Thank you so much. And you can see us on Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Fire TV, and hear us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Have a nice evening, and we'll see you again next week, Thursday, 6 p.m.
All right.
Thank you.